Hey, how's it going guys? Phil here, and this is a review for the Ikan DS2-A Beholder 3-axis gimbal for digital cameras. The gimbal comes in a semi-rigid zippered carrying case. Inside, I received the gimbal, a micro USB wall charger, a mini screwdriver, and an extra 1/4-inch mounting screw for the quick release plate. The gimbal is made from machined aluminum alloy that is fairly lightweight and pretty durable. That said, being a delicately balanced system, you still don't want to drop or bang this thing around, as it'll throw off the internal gyros. What's different about the DS2-A versus the DS2 that was released at the same time is that the roll axis arm on this gimbal is on an angle, hence the A in the model number. This lower position gives you an unobstructed view of your camera's screen, whereas in the more usual configuration, the screen is blocked by the gimbal motor, unless you have a screen that folds out to the side. On the bottom of the handle is a 3/8 inch threaded hole for mounting, and here I'll attach a mini tripod. This really helps a lot when balancing the gimbal, and it extends the length of its short handle during use. The quick release plate on the mounting platform has a safety lock pin that needs to be depressed before you can remove the plate from the gimbal. This QR plate is compatible with other universal quick release systems, like the Manfrotto 577 series. You'll need to use the included mini screwdriver to tighten the mounting screw to the bottom of your camera, and make sure to position the plate as close to the center of balance of your camera as you can. For example, with larger heavier lenses, you'd want to position the plate further forward on the lens side. Then simply slide the camera onto the mounting plate in the direction of the arrow, and balance the tilt axis using the toolless thumb screw just below the safety latch. When balancing the roll axis, use the thumb screw on the outside edge underneath the quick release platform. It adjusts side to side. Balancing the yaw axis is about the same as with any other gimbal. Once balanced and turned on, the gimbal will compensate for movements. For example, here it keeps the camera pointed forward no matter how I move around with the gimbal. The handle on the DS2-A is pretty thick, with a 1 3/4 inch diameter. It has grooves around the perimeter as finger grips. On the front side of the handle, facing away from the user, is the power button and 5-way joystick. Since the joystick is on the front, you can move it with your index finger instead of your thumb, but this can be a bit challenging, so I find it easier to use my other hand to do this. On either side of the gimbal are 1/4 inch 20 threaded mounting points for accessories like a remote monitor or external mic. On the left hand side is a micro USB port for charging, and on the right is a mini USB port for use with a wired joystick, which is not included. On the side that faces you is a small OLED screen and the mode button. The OLED shows you the remaining battery life of the gimbal. It'll also show you the direction of movement of the joystick when pressed. If you press the mode button, it'll show you the profile or mode. So if you press twice, it will switch to Profile 2, or Pan Follow mode, on up through Profile 5. Profile 5 is interesting because it lets you define a path for the gimbal to trace. For example, if I have it pointing out here towards the right, when I click the mode button 5 times, it'll give me 10 seconds to reposition the gimbal to a start point by simply moving and pointing the camera somewhere else. Then, over the course of 60 seconds, it'll return to the point it was at when facing when I entered Profile 5. Here I've sped up that sequence a little bit. So as you can see, it gives you a really quick and simple way to set up slow pans across 2 points without manual operation. Another thing you can do when the gimbal is on is manually reposition your tilt and roll axis by simply moving the camera by hand and holding it in position for 2 seconds. This can be a bit easier than maneuvering your camera into position with the joystick. The 3 18650 batteries allows this gimbal to run about 10 hours on a full charge. Overall, the DS2-A performed nicely when stabilizing footage, and the angled arm makes it easier to monitor your shots as they happen. The gimbal is a bit on the heavy side at 2.5 pounds, and it doesn't come with a lot of accessories, but the on-the-fly positioning, OLED status screen, and 60-second auto path features could give it a slight edge against the competition. I hope you enjoyed this review. You can ask me any questions in the comments. I'll put a link to the product in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and join me next time.